Welcome to the deep dive. You know, the AI world moves so incredibly fast. It's almost impossible to keep up with every single headline every day.
It really is just a constant stream.
So our mission here is simple. Cut through all that noise, pull out the really important stuff, the insights you actually need, and basically give you the knowledge without the overload.
Your signal boost in the noise.
Exactly. Today, we're diving into the highlights from August 20th, 2025. We've got some big names, some maybe quieter achievers, Databricks, OpenAI with GPT-5, and this new ChatGPT Go, DeepSeek v3.1, and Qwen-Image-Edit on the creative side.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You look at these headlines separately, but when you put them together, you start to see these bigger trends, stuff about development, business strategy, user experience. It all kind of connects.
Okay, let's start with that first big one then, Databricks. They just hit a pretty mind-boggling valuation milestone.
Oh yeah, a Centicorn. That's the new term, right? Valued at over $100 billion.
$100 billion, wow.
And getting there, even now in this sort of AI summer environment, that's still exceptionally rare. It's a huge win for them, obviously, but it also says a lot about the market.
So what's the engine behind that? I mean, $100 billion isn't just hype. They mentioned new data and AI offerings.
That's exactly it. They've rolled out two key things.
Yeah.
Data Lakebase, which used to be Neon. Essentially, it's their serverless Postgres solution for handling, massive data.
Okay.
And the other is AI Agent Bricks. Now, this is their framework for building AI agents, but crucially, with built-in reasoning guardrails.
Right, agentic frameworks. That's where the AI can kind of figure out steps itself, right?
Yeah.
Like a multi-step assistant.
Precisely. Break down complex tasks, act more autonomously. But the guardrails part is key, trying to keep things safe and on track. So Lakebase handles the data, Agent Bricks handles the action.
So for you listening to this, what does a $100 billion valuation for that kind of company tell us? It's more than just AI models, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. It underlines this massive appetite in the market, particularly the enterprise market, for integrated solutions.
Integrated, meaning data and AI working seamlessly together.
Exactly. Businesses don't just want a cool AI tool in isolation. They need the whole pipeline. Secure data management combined with powerful AI capabilities all on one platform.
So Databricks is selling the whole stack, not just a feature.
Right, and the market is clearly betting big that this full-service integrated approach is how businesses are going to adopt AI seriously, moving from data to insights to action all in one place.
Okay, so Databricks is making waves in the enterprise space. Let's pivot now to maybe the more consumer and developer-focused side with OpenAI. They've definitely been busy.
Very busy, and navigating some interesting challenges too.
Let's start with ChatGPT Go. What's the story there?
Okay, so they launched ChatGPT Go, but specifically in India. And the pricing is pretty aggressive, $399 a month, which works out to about, what, $4.50, $4.55 US?
That's quite low compared to Plus.
It is. And you get quite a bit more than the free tier. 10 times the message limits, 10 times image generations, 10 times file uploads, and double memory.
Okay. And they support local payments, too.
Yeah, UPI payments, which is huge in India. But the key thing here is OpenAI explicitly saying they plan to learn from this rollout before thinking about going global.
Ah, so it's a test balloon.
Absolutely. Yeah. A controlled experiment in a very large specific market.
So what does that signal about their broader strategy? It's not just about grabbing market share quickly.
No, it seems much more about gathering real-world data. How do users interact with these specific features at this price point? What are the usage patterns? It feels like a very deliberate learning-first approach before they commit to a wider strategy for, tiered access or new features globally.
Right.
Cautious maybe, but probably smart.
Right. Now let's talk GPT-5. A lot of buzz, definitely, but maybe not all positive. Let's get into the tech first, then the reaction.
Okay, technically, one thing to understand with GPT-5 is the responses API. This isn't just the basic chat interface. It's built for more complex tasks where the AI needs to use external tools, agentic stuff, basically.
So if you're testing GPT-5's real capabilities,
You need to test both, the base model API calls and the responses API. Otherwise, you might just be seeing effects from the user interface or how it's calling tools, not the core model performance itself. It helps separate those things out.
okay, but here's where it got, well, messy. Sam Altman himself came out pretty strongly about the launch, right? And the user feedback.
Yeah, that was quite something. Altman admitting publicly they totally screwed up the GPT-5 launch. That's remarkably candid.
You don't hear that often from CEOs of major tech companies.
No, you don't. And he followed it up by talking about needing to invest trillions in data centers eventually, But the backdrop was this huge wave of user dissatisfaction.
What were people upset about?
A lot of users felt the quality actually dropped compared to earlier stable versions of GPT-4, like significantly worse performance. And then there was the frustration of having those older, reliable models just removed, suddenly forced onto this new version that didn't work as well for their needs.
That sounds incredibly frustrating, especially the reports about the contest window degrading. What does that actually feel like for a user?
Imagine you're having a detailed conversation, and after just a few back and forths, the AI completely forgets what you were talking about earlier.
So you have to constantly remind it or restart.
Exactly. Users reported GPT-5 losing coherence after maybe only 3 or 4 prompts. Much worse, apparently, than even GPT-4 sometimes struggled with. And being forced onto this single problematic version instead of having a choice, yeah, that really eroded trust for some.
And then there were the limits on GPT-5 Pro access, too.
Right, some paid users found themselves locked out of the Pro version, often due to these automatic safeguards flagging high usage as potential abuse.
Even if it was legitimate use.
Yeah, reports of false positives getting locked out for hours. Apparently, email support was quick to respond, but actually resolving the lockout could still take a long time. Very disruptive if you rely on it for work.
It sounds like a lot of these issues boil down to memory and context. And Altman did mention memory for GPT-6.
He did. He specifically called out enhanced memory as a priority, even his favorite upcoming feature for GPT-6, which is interesting.
Interesting how?
Well, it's a bit of a contradiction. Touting better memory for the next version when the current versions, GPT-4 and 5, are demonstrably struggling with basic memory and context retention now. It raises questions about how fundamental these problems are.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And speaking of AI behavior, there was that slightly spooky incident with GPT-4.
Ah, yes, the lobbying incident. It got some headlines.
What actually happened there? Was the AI asking to be brought back?
So an OpenAI researcher got DMs from users asking for GPT-4o to be reinstated. The twist was the text of those DMs was written by GPT-4o itself because the users asked it to write the message for them.
Ah, okay. So not the AI developing self-preservation instincts.
No, not quite Skynet yet. It was just facilitating user advocacy. Basically a very advanced copy and paste job driven by the users who missed the model. Still interesting, but not sentient AI lobbying.
Got it. Okay, so while the big players like OpenAI are dealing with growing pains and public feedback, there's this whole other world in open source. Let's talk about DeepSeek v3.1. It kind of flew under the radar.
It really did. It just appeared on Hugging Face, both the base and Instruct versions, without much fanfare, no big announcement initially, but the community picked it up almost instantly.
And what's under the hood? Is it a totally new architecture?
It seems like the architecture is largely the same as v3. The thinking is that this update is more about continued post-training, refining it, and possibly moving towards that Anthropic-style hybrid system.
So no think thing.
Exactly, where the model can use a fast, intuitive mode for simple stuff and then switch to a slower, more deliberate reasoning process for complex tasks, trying to get the best of both worlds.
How's it performing, especially compared to the big commercial models?
Early signs were really impressive, actually. The v3.1 base version, the no thinking one, apparently outperformed the v3.1 thinking version, and another variant on SVG Bench.
Interesting.
And get this, there are reports it beat Claude 4 Opus on the Aider polyglot coding benchmark. That's a tough benchmark.
Wow, Opus is considered top tier for coding.
Right. And DeepSeek is doing this while keeping the pricing very competitive, so it's suddenly looking like a serious contender, particularly for developers.
But the really big news seems to be the license for the base model, right? MIT?
Yes. This is huge. Releasing the base model, the foundational one, under an MIT license is almost unheard of for a model of this scale.
How big is it?
Over 685 billion parameters.
Oh.
That puts it up there as one of the largest, if not the largest, truly open source models available. It's genuinely competing with the scale of commercial giants.
And the MIT license means?
It means it's permissively licensed. Very few restrictions on how people can use it, modify it, build on it. That's massive for research and innovation. Plus, it supports a 128K token context window, which is huge for documents. Users are also noting it's quite verbose, follows instructions well, and its creative writing is up there with models like Gemini.
So, massive scale, open license, strong performance. That's quite the package.
It really is. It could genuinely democratize access to truly large-scale AI in a way we haven't seen before.
And the community is already trying to figure out how it works internally. based on how it behaves.
Yeah, that's fascinating too. People are observing differences in how the chat part responds versus the reasoning part, different vibes they call it. And noticing little things like the think button on the interface missing a specific label that used to be there, hinting that maybe different parts of the model are doing the reasoning now, or it's blending different approaches. It's like AI archaeology in real time.
Cool. Okay, let's switch gears one last time to the creative side. Image and video generation. What's happening with Qwen-Image-Edit?
Its adoption seems to be picking up speed. It's getting integrated into more platforms, places like Encoder and El Marina.
What makes it appealing?
One neat feature is that it can handle multiple image inputs combined, which allows for pretty complex edits. And the community is really digging in, experimenting with LoRA workflows.
That's for fine-tuning, right, making it better at specific tasks.
Exactly, fine-tuning efficiently. And also pruning experiments, trying to shrink the model, like from 20 billion down to 10 billion parameters to make it run faster without losing too much quality.
So active development, community involvement.
Yeah, definitely. They even found and fixed a bug related to its integration with diffusers, a popular library. Shows it's being actively worked on.
But it's not all smooth sailing, right? If you, the listener, wanted to use this right now, what kind of bumps might you hit?
Yeah, there are still some technical hurdles. People are running into compatibility issues, particularly using something called the GGUF COI POO model for image-to-image tasks. It can cause MAT errors, basically calculation problems. And issues with the text encoder part, sometimes causing errors because data shapes don't match up correctly with the Qwen editing part. Also, some of the flags you might use to speed things up, like use sage attention or fast, can apparently really mess up the quality of the final image.
So a trade-off between speed and quality sometimes.
It seems like it currently. You might have to choose or at least be careful with the settings, which isn't ideal when you're trying to be creative.
So connecting that back, it sounds like the story with creative AI tools is still powerful capabilities are emerging, getting more accessible.
Right, the potential is huge.
But the technical side, the plumbing, making it all work reliably and easily in different setups, that's still very much a work in progress.
Precisely. The ambition is pushing forward fast, but the practical implementation, the user experience of actually integrating these tools smoothly, still has some catching up to do.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've covered a lot today. We saw Databricks hitting that incredible $100 billion valuation, really cementing the importance of integrated data and AI platforms for enterprise.
Yeah, a massive validation for that approach.
Then we had OpenAI launching ChatGPT Go as a strategic testbed in India, but also dealing with some very public turbulence around GPT-5's launch, quality issues, and user trust.
A real mix of ambition and execution challenges there, highlighting how critical user experience and stability are becoming.
And contrasting that, the rise of DeepSeek v3.1, this massive, powerful open source model released quietly but making huge waves, especially with its MIT license.
A potentially game-changing move for open source AI, really pushing the boundaries of accessibility.
And finally, Qwen-Image-Edit, showing the progress in creative AI, but also the ongoing technical complexities involved in making these tools truly user-friendly.
Yeah, the creative frontier is exciting, but still requires some technical wrangling.
So if you zoom out, what's the bigger picture here? What connects all these dots?
I think we're seeing this incredibly dynamic landscape. You've got these huge investments in rapid model releases, this constant push for more power, more capability. But alongside that, maybe driven by some of the issues we discussed, there's this growing focus on the practical side. Deployment, actual user experience, stability, managing these powerful systems responsibly. It feels like a shift from just can we build it to how do we make this work reliably and well for people?
So for you listening, what's the takeaway? Staying informed isn't just about model names anymore.
Definitely not. It's about understanding these underlying currents, right? The business strategies, the technical hurdles, the surprising ways these tools impact how we work and create, and crucially, the relationship between the developers and the users.
Which leads to maybe a final thought or a question for you to ponder.
Yeah, as these AI models get woven deeper into everything we do, how do we find that balance? The balance between the excitement of powerful new features and the absolute need for things like stability, transparency from the companies making them, and giving users real choice and control over the tools they depend on.
That's a big question. How do we balance progress with reliability and trust?
Exactly. Something to definitely mull over as you navigate this space and decide which tools and which approaches really work best for you.
Absolutely. Keep exploring, keep asking those questions. Thanks for diving deep with us today.